So the purpose of this video is to talk you through the assessment for the Dental Public Health module. You'll find we will speak about the assessment in class and the individual aspects of it as and when they come up, but I feel it's quite useful to have a video that you can go back to and refer to at various different points throughout the module as and when you require it. So the assessment for Dental Public Health comes in the form of a portfolio. It's assessed entirely by its portfolio, and there's no sit in the room type examination for this module. So it gives you the opportunity to be assessed in a variety of different ways, rather than that one formalised examination, which doesn't play to everybody's strengths. The idea of the portfolio is it's a portfolio of evidence of activities that you've been involved with throughout the whole of year 2, in fact, that show your ability and your understanding of what dental public health is and your ability to partake in it. So it's made up of 5 different tasks, and it's also split into 2 parts that have different submission dates. So what we'll do now is we'll go through each individual task and we can talk through what is required of you and what the expectations should be. So task A forms part 1 of the portfolio submission. Task A is quite a big task. It's worth 25% of the module, and therefore it's submitted earlier than the rest of it. It's something you already know about, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this, particularly if you're watching this video at the beginning of semester 2, you're going to know quite a lot about this already, and because audit is something that you've been working on since the start of year 2. It is a group project. You already know what your groups are, and you have from the beginning of semester 1 right through till Easter to complete this. Whilst Dental Public Health is a semester 2 module, we do acknowledge that this is a big thing to complete and there is a time frame that you require, so you've been working on it for actually 3/4 of the year. Like I said, it's a group project. Group projects allow you to demonstrate more skills than if you were doing things on your own. First of all, it allows you to do a bigger task. So because there's quite a lot involved with audit, there's decisions to be made early on, you need to think about your methods and such, then the actual gathering of the data can be quite time consuming, and the analysis and discussion is certainly a very big part of it. So doing it as a group allows you to split that work up between you and allows you to do a bigger task in the same space of time. It also allows you to develop skills that we more often refer to when we talk about graduate attributes, so things like leadership and management and team working skills. It's really, really important that we develop those skills. As dental care professionals, you're always going to be working as part of a team. It's almost unheard of that you would be working entirely individually. So working as part of a team is a really important part of our role. So this task will allow you to develop not just dental public health specific skills, but also skills that will translate into other parts of your course and into your career. So as with most group projects, you will all receive the same mark in your group for this assessment, and therefore we are looking for equal distribution of work and good team working mentality in it. So you need to complete and write up 2 full cycles of audit throughout the 9 months that you have to complete the task. And when we come to mark it, we look at 5 different areas in terms of the marks that you receive. So we're looking at the choice of topic. Was it an appropriate choice of topic? Was it beneficial to not just yourselves as students, but also the patients and the wider dental service? And was it something that you were able to work towards making a good change with? Then there's 5 marks available for your hypothesis, aim and objectives. So how you've structured those, how you've utilised them when you've been analysing your results. The method And results is obviously quite a big part of it as well. Was the method appropriate? Yes, you will have received feedback from the module leader with regards to how you can work on the method, but ultimately was what you ended up with the right thing? Did it get the results that you needed? And also, how have you displayed your results? It's important that we have good use of charts or tables, whatever's appropriate for your particular topic. Then we're looking at discussion and conclusion. Discussion's a really big part of audit. It's where you take the opportunity to tell the reader, tell your audience, what you've gained from doing the audit. The results are data. The discussion is where you analyse it. You talk about why were your results that way, why weren't they better, or why did they get better, and so on. So it's a big part of it. And then your conclusions is where you round it all up into a nice, concise statement. And then the last part of the marks goes on your ability to implement change. Ultimately, that's the whole point in audit. If you just gather data and tell people the facts, you're not helping things get better. So the purpose of audit is to say this is a problem and this is how we're going to fix it, and then check that it's been fixed. So that's why there's a weighting on that element as well. So it's out of 25 marks altogether because it worth 25% of the module. So task B is about epidemiology. It's worth 15% of the module, and this is a peer-reviewed assessment, which is not something you've had much exposure to before. Yes, you've done peer review in terms of providing each other with feedback at various different points throughout the course so far, but in this assessment what you'll be doing is actually providing the summative marks for each other. You'll be asked to research and present findings on a particular aspect of dental epidemiology, and then you're going to spend some time reviewing each other's work initially. So I will give you a topic, you're going to find some evidence base that relates to that aspect of epidemiology, and you're going to make some notes on it. Then I will distribute what you've done to other students who will look at it and give you some feedback, and then it will go back to you to make whatever changes you need to do. And then your presentation will be based on all that feedback you've been given. And on the day of the assignment in the timetable, you're going to present to the rest of your class your research and your findings about that epidemiological topic. And on the day, you'll all be provided with a marking criteria, and you will all mark each other. My involvement as the module leader is that I will take all your marks and I'll collate them all and I'll work out the average, and that's the marks you will receive. So it's a different way of doing the assessment. You'll also find that it's a way by which you're going to learn a lot. By doing this assessment, we're also teaching each other about the various different aspects of epidemiology that we've been researching. So it's both a learning and an assessment tool at the same time. Like I say, you will be provided with the marking rubric for this because you're going to be marking each other. But when it comes to that, the marks that you're going to be awarding are for the selection of the study. So was it an appropriate epidemiological study in the first place? Your knowledge and understanding of the study, and also your ability to make it relevant to what we're looking at this moment in time in terms of our clinical practice. Task C is with regards to oral health promotion, and this is another quite a large task. This is worth 25% of the module, similar to the audit project. And what you're going to do for this is, during semester 2, you're going to complete 2 oral health promotion visits or oral health promotion events throughout this semester, and you're going to submit in your portfolio evidence of having completed those visits. The visits will be to 2 different target audiences, and that could be anything, and you will all probably go to different groups. So some of you might be going to see high school students. Some of you might be going out with the health promotion workers and doing part of the Caring for Smiles programme. You might be visiting special needs groups, mother and baby groups. There's a huge variety of things that you'll be doing. But the important thing is that what you're being assessed on here is not what actually happened on the day, but your preparation and also your reflection on the event. So we'll be looking for you to write appropriate learning outcomes for the session and also construct lesson plans. And then a big chunk of the marks, so 15 out of the 25 marks, will be awarded for what we call a SWOT analysis. You will receive a wee bit more advice on that near the time, but SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. And for each of your oral health promotion visits, we'd like you to complete an analysis for your first one, and then when it comes to your second visit, you should be able to look at what you did in your analysis of the first visit and make improvements or continue with best practice in order to provide an improved visit for your second event. So like I say, it's important to remember you're not being assessed on the event itself. Sometimes things don't go to plan. It's perfectly understandable. You're being assessed on what you've learnt by being part of the oral health promotion process. Task D relates to dental and healthcare systems. This is also weighted at 15% of the module. And this task is a little bit different. You've got quite a lot of freedom and flexibility. This task is assessing two different things. It's looking at your knowledge and understanding of dental and healthcare systems in the UK, and also looking at your ability to educate other people. Obviously, dental public health is involved with populations or groups of people and how we can interact with them to get the best possible outcomes. So for this task, you can see we've been given a scenario, and that's that you have been asked to educate a group of final year dental students on the role of the dental therapist within various dental and healthcare settings, and also look at how we can cooperate with other team members to provide the best possible patient care. And we're wanting you to cover various different things here. You can see we're talking about the different ways in which dentistry is provided in Scotland, also multidisciplinary team working, because that's something we as therapists are greatly involved with, as well as nationwide health improvement projects, so things like Caring for Smiles, Child Smile, that kind of thing. But the way you do this delivery is important, because we want you to devise a really innovative way of getting this information across to your imaginary audience. And as such, you need to devise a way of doing it that doesn't involve you being in the room. So what we're saying here is you can't provide a PowerPoint presentation that you're going to stand and read from. I want you to think of a way of getting this information across that's inspiring and innovative, and that allows people to get the information they need without you having to stand and talk at them. I've given you a little bit of guidance in that your method of delivery shouldn't be more than 500 words or 15 minutes, because depending on how you choose to do it, either of those might be appropriate. So the marks that you're going to be awarded for this are partly to do with your methods of delivery, because like I said, this is looking at your ability to educate people, and then slightly higher weighting on the actual information that you've provided, because that demonstrates your knowledge and understanding of the subject. So it's quite a broad assessment. There's a number of different ways you can do this, and students in the past have been really quite interesting and innovative with their ways. As much as possible as you can with an assessment, I'd like you to have a bit of fun with this, enjoy it, find a way that works for you. If you put yourself in the position of these final year dental students, how would you learn this information best? And go from there. And then task E, which is the final task of your portfolio, is to do with evidence-based dentistry. And this is worth the final 20% of the module. What we're looking at in Task B is your involvement and what you've learned from Journal Club throughout the whole of Year 2. So I've said to you, and various other people have said to you on many occasions, about the importance of Journal Club, and that when you're in second year, it's particularly relevant because you are assessed on your participation in learning, and this is where this comes in. So what we want you to do is to write a blog. First of all, I want you to summarise your experience of semester 1. And then I want you to do a blog post for each of your Journal Club sessions in semester 2. This should not be a big essay each time. Like I said, your summary there is for 300 words, that's for the whole of the semester, and then for your semester 2 blog posts, no more than 100 words for each post. So it's very small pieces of writing, but that will help you build your understanding of the benefits of Journal Club. So each post, we want you to talk about your involvement in the session that week, how you were involved with it. Even if you're not part of the presenting or discussion team, you should have involvement in Journal Club one way or another at every event. So how were you involved? And also how what you learned is going to impact on you as a student and potentially when you qualify as well. So for this task, your marks will be awarded for attendance and participation. So the attendance is quite straightforward, you've just got to be there. If you have authorised absence, that's a different matter, but unauthorised absence, you will lose these marks. And also your participation, so you need to tell us how you were involved. And then the rest of the marks are on the reflective process. So that's us been through the portfolio as a whole. Just to recap, part 1, which is task A, your audit task, is due for submission just before the Easter holidays. And then the rest of the portfolios, so part task B to E, are submitted at the end of the semester. It is compensatory, so the marks will all compensate for each other within the task. However, if you submit your portfolio with a missing task, then you will fail the entire assessment because the assessment is incomplete. You must have attempted all parts of the assessment. And you must submit your portfolio on Mahara. There is no other way of submitting this assignment. And you also need to follow the guidelines you've been given in terms of layout, and there's separate videos on that you can watch about how to make sure your portfolio is laid out correctly. If you don't lay your portfolio out correctly, if it's not neat and clearly labelled, you run the risk that we as markers will not be able to navigate our way through your portfolio, will miss information that you've submitted, and therefore you would lose marks. So very important that you use Mahara appropriately in order to submit this assignment. As always, if you have any questions at all about assessments, please just ask me as your module leader. Be aware of submission dates. Be aware that you are submitting online. Occasionally there can be faults. It's not wise to leave all your submissions until 30 seconds before the deadline. Any problems, just let me know.